The June 2017 announcement by Saudi Arabia, the United Arab Emirates, Bahrain, and Egypt that they were all severing ties with Qatar was the climax of a longer campaign that used the internet as a new weapon. The four countries accused Qatar of aiding terrorism and being too close to Iran, their regional rival. And to make their claims stick, they made TV airwaves and the internet the battlefield. The opening shots were fired by an army of bots on Twitter. Now, bots are software that can be programmed to interact with other Twitter accounts on their own to spread whatever message you program them to. You just tell them what to do. You can even build or buy an army of bots, hundreds or thousands of them, to flood Twitter with your ideas, boosting a conversation or hashtag until it takes off on its own, to even make them trend in your city or country. In April 2017, weeks before the summit in Riyadh, where US President Trump called on Arab and Muslim leaders to
drive out the terrorists and drive out the extremists.
Thousands of Arabic language bots appeared on Twitter, flooding it with sectarian messages and anti-Qatar propaganda. They began shaping the online debate on terrorism.
A lot of the rhetoric that these bots were promoting on Twitter was similar to the demands that were later made. So, for example, one of the bot trends was about Qatar's bankrolling of terrorism. And these occurred obviously before the outbreak of news. When the news of the hack surfaced, one of the bot networks revealed that there were bot accounts set up in April 2017. So these bot accounts, a large network, was set up a month before the news of the hack, and they became active at the announcement of the news of the hack. You can see that a lot of the narratives being spread by these bots mirrors the narratives of the Quartet countries.
The next steps created the pretext for dramatic measures to come. Less than 48 hours after Trump left Saudi Arabia, a cyber attack began on Qatar's state broadcaster, the Qatar News Agency. An article appeared on its website with comments attributed to Qatar's emir, praising the Muslim Brotherhood, Hamas, and Hezbollah, while blaming some governments for causing terrorism by following an extreme version of Islam, and calling Iran an Islamic power and a major force for stability in the region. And there's about a dozen other controversial comments. And to give the attack an added punch, whoever was behind it added a line about the supposed tensions between Qatar and the Trump administration, suggesting it wouldn't be around much longer due to ongoing criminal investigations. Q&A's YouTube page was also compromised. Now, this was a broadcast just before the hack, showing Qatar's emir attending a military graduation ceremony the previous day. In this clip shown on a Saudi-funded outlet, you can see the modified ticker, enlarged and moved up the screen to show viewers the comments. The video appears to have been manipulated by zooming in to remove the actual ticker that went out on live TV. The fake news was then posted from other compromised Q&A accounts in a cyber attack that lasted about 3 hours.
Of course not, and I think already our embassy in Washington has put these denials in place.
While the UAE government has denied involvement, Qatar says its investigation, aided by the FBI and the UK National Crime Agency, traced the hack to IP addresses in the UAE. According to several US media outlets, American intelligence agencies also recorded senior Emirati officials discussing the cyber attack the day after Trump left Riyadh. In fact, the emir never spoke at the ceremony at all, and Q&A denied the report within 45 minutes of those initial posts on its website, YouTube, and Twitter. But boy, did they run with it.
قطر إيران
إيران حماس
قطر إيران حماس إيران قطر مع إسرائيل
تميم خان العرب
الإخوان المسلمين وحماس حزب الله
شرور القطرية
الإخوان المسلمين وحماس.
أدلة جديدة على تورط قطر بدعم الإرهاب لا تنفك وسائل الإعلام العالمية على نشر المزيد منها.
Saudi-funded Al Arabiya, based in Dubai, And UAE-funded Sky News Arabia, based in Abu Dhabi, spearheaded a media campaign that would continue for the next year. And despite evidence it was fake news, both channels reported it as fact, and still do. After the hack, Twitter bots then made a new hashtag trend, sever relations with Qatar. And so they did. Using the fake comments as a pretext, on June 5th, 2017, Saudi Arabia, the UAE, Bahrain, and Egypt imposed a land, air, and sea blockade on Qatar, accusing it of funding terrorism and fomenting regional instability. Now, the messaging campaign continued to grow as the quartet gave Qatar a list of 13 demands to be met in return for ending the blockade. Bots even made anti-government content trend inside Qatar.
So obviously bots can create propaganda messages that distort the reality of the discussions going on in the world. But what I've seen increasingly and with increasing sophistication is bot networks being set up, and the input location on those accounts is, for example, Qatar. So by creating a bot account and putting their geographical location as Qatar, and then having thousands of them tweet on the same hashtag, will basically trick Twitter's trend into thinking that that topic is trending in Qatar. And then what happens is that you have certain figures who then use those trends to say, look, Qataris are tweeting against their government. Twitter's verification process is hugely broken in the region. And because of that, it's been exploited by people who have the money and the resources to game it.
The Gulf crisis shows how media outlets and Twitter can be weaponized to influence public debate. CEO Jack Dorsey acknowledged the real-world negative consequences of Twitter's platform in March, citing manipulation through bots and human coordination as some of the ways that people have taken advantage of their service.
We challenge 8 million accounts every single week. The manipulation of using bots and human manipulation as well. We see a lot of human coordination as well. Is against our terms of service, and we want to continue to make sure that we are not building a system that is easily gameable.
It'll be interesting to see how matters play out in this region as Twitter works to weed out bot armies. In the meantime, political agendas are being pushed by all these active users who are actually bots.